Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday to you all, and welcome to the Wrestling Experience. It's our favorite pastime. No, it's not wrestling. No, it's not baseball. But you've landed on Planet Experience. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You landed on Planet Experience. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to rewind Dynamite. We're going to rewind SummerSlam. We're going to give you wrestling news. I have some news about WrestleMania 42 that you may want to listen to. All of this and so much more here tonight on the Wrestling Experience. My good friend John Clark was supposed to be here with me tonight. Unfortunately, he's had some internet problems and he will not be here. But listen, I'm here for you. John, I hope you get your technology fixed. But ladies and gentlemen, you've landed on your mothership. You've landed on experience. You've landed on a Thursday. It's the experience. It's the wrestling experience. All right, folks, welcome back. Make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button, folks, and make sure that you subscribe and share. And I belong to the YouTube partner program. You can send me super chats and all kind of stuff. But I want to just say this, and I want to just say this to my audience before we begin. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the subscriptions, all of the views, all of the likes, and everything else that you've given me so far. You are a rock star, you wrestling community. You're absolutely a rock star, and I want to thank you all for doing that from the bottom of my heart because I can't do this without you. I've said this a million and one times. I cannot do this show without an audience, and you all are fabulous. You all are fabulous at what you do. You day in and day out, you take a slice out of your time to be with me here on every Thursday, every Wednesday, every Friday, every Monday when we do these shows from Raw to Dynamite to Wrestling Experience to Friday Night SmackDown, which, by the way, I'll be live tomorrow night for Friday Night SmackDown. I'll bring you Friday Night SmackDown tomorrow night as I hit the airwaves at 7:50 Eastern Time if you keep it where it is. So, folks, let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about Dynamite. We're going to kick the show off with Dynamite. Dynamite last night took place in Cincinnati, Ohio. And oh boy, man, oh man, was it as hot as a firecracker. So much stuff came out of it. And two great matches were announced for the Forbidden Door. And one is still up in the air. But I'm going to tell you this much. Hangman Adam Page and MJF, oh boy, did they do a face-to-face. The face-to-face was fine. I had no face-to-face. Hangman Adam Page. And of course, MJF tried to goat Hangman into getting a championship match at the Forbidden Door. And Hangman told him point blank and plain, you either sign that contract you won at the gauntlet at All In, or you earn it. and they were going back and forth. And this was just absolute. These two men were going back and forth and insults at each other, swapping insults until Hangman did reverse psychology on MJF, and he said on the microphone, "I am going to invoke my contract that I won at the gauntlet match to meet you at the Forbidden Door." So Tony Khan heard that in the earpiece and he says, "Well, you already invoked it, so we're going to make it official." So it is now official. Hangman Adam Page will defend the AEW title against MJF at the Forbidden Door. It is locked, solid, signed, and in the books. Hangman really goaded MJF into invoking that contract, and MJF tried to do it to Hangman, but Hangman was too smart for him. So I liked it. I liked it. And Jeffrey says, "What's up? All right, Jeffrey, how's it going tonight? Happy Thursday to you." And Jeffrey says, "Hangman Page outsmarted." Yeah, he sure did. He sure did outsmarted him, and I loved it. I absolutely, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant of Eggman to do that to MJF. So we got the match going, but what happened after after the show went off the air? Well, MJF attacked Eggman in the parking lot when he was being interviewed by Renee Paquette, and I mean MJF is vicious as always. And all right, so we had that little fracas. That led off the night of an explosive night here on Dynamite. All right, let's continue. And what did MJF talked himself into the match? He sure did. He sure did. He said on the microphone, "I am going to I am going to invoke my contract that I won at the gauntlet match." That's all Tony Khan needed to hear. That's all he needed to hear was that. MJF was embarrassed, so he took his frustrations in the park. Yes, he did. He did. And thank you, Jeffrey, for that clip. Thank you for that clip. I had turned off TBS and I had thought we were done with Dynamite, but thanks to Jeffrey, he showed me the clip and the parking lot incident, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm referring to. And I, yeah, thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you. And and again, like I said before, I'll say it again. These two men are gonna meet at the Forbidden Door, and I believe this match is gonna be a banger. The match is gonna be a banger. There's no doubt about it. There's gonna I think every card, every match so far that I have seen on this card is going to be a banger. There is nothing on here that I would not say does not belong on this card. These matches that Tony Khan is cooking up are bangers. These are going to be bangers. This is how you do a pay-per-view. This is how you do a pay-per-view, and this is why it makes my heart grow fonder. All right. So we had that match. Then we had our opening contest. Speedball Mike Bailey was in the corner of Kevin Knight, and he took on John Moxley. Moxley was just vicious. Moxley was vicious. Moxley just came out and he was scraping Kevin. He really and truly was biting him and scratching him and everything else. And of course, you knew Marina Shafir was going to interfere with her stupid self, and you knew she was coming out there. You knew she was going up to be no good, and that was correct. I was absolutely correct. And Will Yuta, what the heck was he doing out there? Well, he was there to help Marina Shafir. So the match was marred with shenanigans. And I hate shenanigans, as everybody knows. I can't stand it. But that's the Death Riders. That's what they do. They love shenanigans. Well, the match was fine. The match was all right for what it was. Everybody played their part well in the match. Great chemistry, great nuance in the match. Every little nuance. Kevin, he tried to take Moxley to his limit. Moxley was just too much for him. Moxley choked him out. Moxley walked away the victor. But what happened afterwards was really something else. First Darby Allin came out and he put Yuta in a body bag. He put Yuta in a body bag. And then all of a sudden, Will Ospreay comes out, and all hell broke loose. Now, Ospreay is supposed to be on the shelf. He's supposed to be on the shelf. He has two herniated discs in his neck. He has two herniated discs in his neck, and I'm kind of concerned for this. He then gets on the microphone, and he challenges Moxley to a lights-out match. Listen to this. He challenges Moxley to a lights out steel cage match. The match is official, and it's going to happen at the Forbidden Door. It's never been done before in AEW. I've never heard of a lights out steel cage match. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it. But it will happen in London at the O2 Arena. It won't happen. Moxley and his cronies will take on Ospreay, and of course, Darby Allin is in the match as well, along with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega will be in the cage as well. I mean, but here's my question. Here's my question, folks. Here's my concern. Was this I always say this all the time when I see people do these things and they have these impulses. Was this a mistake? Was this a mistake? Now that is the $1,000,001 question. Was this a mistake? But Will Ospreay to take it. This match is dangerous. The match is dangerous. What did Jeffrey say? Yep, they love shenanigans. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. The card is looking good. Yes, it is. And Jeffrey said, Will should be getting surgery. Yeah, I agree. I agree with your assessment, Jeffrey. I agree. So my question is, was this a mistake? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out at the Forbidden Door next Sunday at 1 o'clock. We're going to find out, was this a mistake? Because I'm going to tell you this much. I don't want to see anything happen to Will Ospreay. I really don't. I don't want to see anything happen to him. I think he's a fine individual. I think he's a great wrestler and everything else. I just don't want to see him get so injured in this match. I don't want to see him get injured. I really don't. I don't want to see him get injured. I don't. And like I said before, I'll say it again. Was this a mistake? Was this a mistake? We're going to find out. All right. As far as the match is concerned, I hope he doesn't take too much bump. I hope not either, Jeffrey. All right, folks. Let me just say something here. Let me say something here. What was I going to say? Oh, On an entertainment level, I'm going to give this match. I give the match a 7. The match gets a 7. The match gets a 7. Um, Imagine how his wife Alex Windsor feels about him in this match. Yeah, I agree with that, Jeffrey. I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know what he's thinking. But next week there's gonna be some kind of face to face on Dynamite in the Go Home show. So before I'll say it again, was this a mistake? Was this a mistake? Inquiring minds want to know. But the match gets a 7. The match gets a 7. All right. Mercedes Monet and Tekla and Sky Blue versus Alex Wynn. Speaking of Will Ospreay's wife, Alex Windsor and Queen Nominata and Willow Nightingale. All right. The match was fine. The match was fine. All of these ladies mixed it up at the end. Athena came down at the end with of course Tony Storm and everything else. Um, Julia Hart came in and she did her thing. Um, the match was fine. These ladies were like all Hellcats. Everybody is like fighting for supremacy and everything else. And of course, as you know, Athena will challenge Tony Storm for the AEW Women's title next Sunday afternoon. And that should be very interesting to say none the least. And of course, Mercedes Monet was attacking Windsor. She's going to be part of that match at the Forbidden Door for her TBS championship. What is this? It was fun. 6 women. Yeah, the match was fun. Yeah, you're right about that, Jeff. What is it? The face to face better have his buddy at ringside. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, these 6 women. This match was fun. The match, and let me tell you something. I love me some Willow Nightingale. Now I don't know about you all. If you're not a fan of Willow Nightingale, then why are you a wrestling fan? Just like Sting. If you're not a fan of Sting and Willow Nightingale and all these, why are you a wrestling fan? Why are you a wrestling fan? Because there's nothing wrong with these people. There's nothing wrong with these people. Willow Nightingale comes out and she loves to have fun. She loves to have, especially with the little girl sitting at ringside. She loves to have fun. All right. So on an entertainment level, I'll give this match. It was fun. It was fun and it was entertaining for me. I'll give this match an 8. The match gets an 8. And that's the best I can do with it. Do I want to see it again? No, that's fine. But it was fun for what it was. It was fun. It was fun. All right. All right. Adam Copeland took on Stokely Hathaway. All right. Adam Copeland made a mistake with this match. I'm going to tell you why he made a mistake. I agree. I give it an 8 as well. Yeah, again, Jeffrey, why don't you say wavelength as me? The match gets an 8. Match gets an, all right. So Adam Copeland took on Stokely Hathaway. All right. The match was fine. But here's the problem that I had with the match. Adam Copeland had too much fun with Stokely Hathaway. He never should have underestimated Stokely Hathaway. Stokely Hathaway took the powder and threw it in Adam Copeland's face. in front of the referee. The referee had no choice but to call for the bell. Adam Copeland wins by disqualification when he really should have put away Stokely Hathaway long time ago. All right. FTR comes out. Here comes the shenanigans and everything else. But listen to this, folks. Here's the part that I thought I would never see in my lifetime. Christian Cage comes down with Barbie, this big giant club of a bat with spikes, and he was ready to give it to Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. All of a sudden, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage reluctantly hugged in the middle of the ring. They hugged. They gave each other a hug. Christian Cage didn't want to hug Adam Copeland. He didn't want to hug him. But you could see it looked, he forced him to hug him. He forced him to hug him. And now these two men are going to reunite as a tag team next Sunday afternoon in London. And they're going to take on Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. Well, I'm going to tell you this much. Any problems that these two had in the past, they need to squash that beef. They need to squash that beef because they need to work as a cohesive unit. If they want to defeat Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian, they need to work as a cohesive unit. So this match is official. Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian will tag team and they will take on Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. Now, will Stokely Hathaway interfere in the tag match? Probably will. But here's the thing. The bigger story here is Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. Can they coexist? Can they coexist as a tag team? And can they work together as a tag team to neutralize the problem of Nick Wayne and, of course, Kip Sabian? We'll find out in London next weekend. Christian and Adam Copeland gotta squash them. Yeah, that's what I just said. Jeffrey, I said that 2 minutes ago. King, how's it going tonight? Christian Cage and Cope reunite. Feels like they are back in time. Yeah, it does, King. And thank you for your comment. Please make sure you hit the like button. Stokely tried to do a spear several. Yes, he did. I told you Stokely had a plan. Or yes, you did, Jeffrey. You sure did. Don't forget, everyone, make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe and you share and you comment. I greatly appreciate it. So on an entertainment level, this really wasn't much of a match. Stokely didn't really have much of a fight in this match. It really wasn't nothing to write home about. Adam Copeland played around too much with Stokely Hathaway, and he shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have taken him lightly. It's going amazing, Earl. Thank you very much, King. Thank you for your comment. Glad everything's going well for you. And again, like I said before, and I'll say it again. Adam Copeland shouldn't have messed around with Stokely Hathaway. But here's the thing, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this again. Can Christian and Adam Copeland coexist as a tag team? We're going to find out next Sunday in London, England. We'll find out. But like I said, next week on Dynamite, These two men need to squash that beef. They need to squash that beef and work as a cohesive unit. Otherwise, they're not going to survive Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne. Fans cracking on Stokely was hilarious. Yes, it was. Oh gosh. All right, folks. So as far as entertainment level, I'm sorry, folks. This really wasn't entertaining. There was really nothing going on in the match. It really Adam Copeland speared the crap out of Stokely, not once but many times over. Never pinned him. Never pinned him. And threw the white powder in his face. So based on all of that action and what FTR got involved in the match, I have to give the match a 2. I'm going to give the match a 2 because here's the thing. There really was nothing really to write home bomb about. It really wasn't. It really wasn't, folks. And I can't sit there and give you a high entertainment level. So therefore, the match gets a 2. The match gets a 2, and I want to see it again. No. No. No, I don't want to see it again. No. I don't want to see it again. That's fine. That's fine. But that's the best I can do for it. I give it a 2. Okay. Okay. Don Callis and the Young Bucks take on the conglomeration and Takahashi. Takahashi. I'm sorry, I can't speak Japanese, folks. All right. The Young Bucks again remember the Young Bucks are no longer EVP, so they can't come out to their music. And the fake pyro, the fake pyro, and the crowd was calling the Young Bucks jobbers. They chanted jobbers, and it was this was no bueno. This was no good. But what the Young Bucks did to poor Justin Roberts was absolutely disgusting. All right, Justin Roberts comes out and he calls them these guys. He's not referring to the Young Bucks anymore. He calls them these guys. Yeah, jobber bucks. And let me tell you all something. You remember when I had that joke with you all, and I said the Bucks had to dress in the production room. Okay, folks, I have more stories for you. It's fun. Okay, so if you ever go into a locker room, and you see, everybody's got their individual lockers in there, their private stuff. Your private stuff is in the locker. Tony Khan. Let me tell you something. Tony Khan's many things, but this is funny. Tony Khan says to the Young Bucks, "Well, you're not getting your own locker. You gotta double up your clothes in the same locker." So the Young Bucks had to take their luggage, their clothes, their shoes, their ring gear, and stick it in this one little phone booth called a locker. You can't make this stuff up if you try. and, and Matt Jackson went to Tony Khan and said, "What am I going to do with my clothes?" And he said, "Double it up and put it underneath a chair." Double it up and put it underneath a chair.
I can't. I can't. I this thing, this storyline with this EVP going. I mean, it is hilarious what they're doing to them and how they're treating them in the locker room. They have the dress in the production room. Now they got one locker. Oh my God. I cannot. It is absolutely funny. It's funny. It's funny. But what wasn't funny last night was what happened to Justin Roberts. So the Bucks were fined 10 grand apiece for doing what they did to Justin Roberts. And from what I understand, I think he suffered a concussion and he may not make it to the Forbidden Door next weekend in London. He may not fly with the group. He may stay back and go home and recuperate after what the Bucks did. Now I don't know what they're going to do with a ring announcer. I guess the collision ring announcer Ari Akata will step in for Justin and do the show. Because as you know, in Forbidden Door, we have an English ring announcer and we also have a ring announcer that's in Japan, and Japanese. So both introductions will be done at the same time as they done in all of the Forbidden Door. So, but this was funny. This was King is King. You like double up Bucks? Yes. Tony Khan should have never treated Justin Roberts like that last night. No, I know. That's not good. Not a phone booth. Yes, separate phone booth. These guys, yeah. so so anyway, that's what happened. Well, the match was fine. The Bucks lost the match. I was happy about that. They didn't win the match as they typically do on every Wednesday night Dynamite. They're always winning their matches. Not this time. Not this time. The conglomerate. I mean, not this time. I thought it was great. So I'm gonna give this match on an entertainment level. I'm gonna give this match an 8. The match gets an 8 because it was fun. The match is fun because it's at the expense of the Bucks, and they deserve it. This is what happens when you power drive the owner of the company. This is what you get. This is what you get. I could imagine what he's going to do to them in London when they're in this cage match. I could imagine what he's going to do. I could imagine what Tony Khan is cooking up. So I love it. I loved it. So the match gets an 8. The match gets an 8. It was fun. It was great. I had no problem with it. All right. Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland comes out and he says that he has a severe knee injury. Yeah, I gave it an 8 too, Jeffrey. Um, so Swerve Strickland comes out. He talks about his knee injury. He talks about everything with Renee Paquette. All of a sudden, Okada comes out and he tells Strickland to quit the match, forget about the match. Strickland says, "No way, I'm not quitting. I'm not stepping down. I'm not afraid of you." And he and Okada will go one-on-one, mano a mano, next Sunday in London at the O2. I I don't have a problem with this. I don't have a problem with this, but what I'm concerned with Will Ospreay and I'm concerned with Strickland. If Strickland has a terrible knee injury and it's going to be exposed, Okada's going to expose it. Because I'm going to tell you this, but say what you want about Okada, but when he turns on that switch that dominant switch like Gunther does, Okada's unstoppable. Okada just goes out there. Yeah, you take Okada to its limit, but Okada finds ways to retain his title. He finds ways. He finds ways to retain. And you have to respect him for that. You have to respect Okada for his relentless ways of him trying to retain the title. So I'm gonna concern for Strickland and Osprey next Sunday. I'm gonna watch that match very closely. I'm gonna watch Osprey's match very closely, and I'm hoping these two men don't take too much hellacious bumps in the match if they're banged up and injured. All right. The obstacle of faction El Nobles. The match was fun. That was the main event of Dynamite. The match was fine. The Ops go over in the match. They win the match. They retain the title. And I had no problem with it. Uh, I can't imagine where they're gonna change in London. Maybe Jeffrey and Big Ben. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Khan will probably tell, no, you're not allowed to come here in the arena. You got to go to Big Ben and go change and come back and go get an Uber. Wouldn't that be something? He tells him to go change in Big Ben in the bathroom. Jeffrey. What did Joey say? Bro, you kid me too. You kid me, bro. No. Oh man, you never know. You never know. You know who knows what Tony Khan. Uh, so folks, that was dynamite. That was dynamite. That was AEW dynamite. King says TNA moved on Wednesday to beat AEW. Would be hilarious. Yeah, I know, King. I know. So that was dynamite, folks. And I gave the show as a whole, I gave it a B. I gave the show a solid B. And that was the best thing I can do for it. That's the best I can do for it. And I gave the show a solid B. All right. So that was Dynamite last night. Very explosive show. Lots of matches were announced for the Forbidden Door. Can't wait to do the Forbidden Door for you. Like I said, we're gonna do the Forbidden Door next Sunday at the O2 in London, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. Okay, folks. All right. So that was Dynamite. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, I gave it a B too. Yeah, I agree with you with that. Okay, folks, just give me a second while I bring this. All right, folks, we are about to rewind SummerSlam 2025. It took place on August 2nd and 3rd. I did a poll. I did a poll on my Twitter page, and I think I did it on the YouTube page on my community tab. I asked you all, which night did you all felt was more compelling and more shocking, had more shock and awe? Night number one and night number two. And overwhelmingly, you all said night number two delivered the goods. So thank you all for voting, and I thank you all for doing that. So let's get into SummerSlam. First of all, let me just say that SummerSlam weekend was absolutely fun. It was a fun weekend for me because this was the first time in a vastly long time that SummerSlam graced the tri-state area in the New York, New Jersey market. It was a first time ever that we got SummerSlam 2 nights. It was historic. Over 101,000 fans jammed MetLife Stadium on night one, night two. Night one drew about 53,000 people. Night number two overdrew, and it drew 60 about 62, 63,000 people. So SummerSlam really and truly delivered the goods as far as the fans were, and the fans were excited, including myself. I was excited about SummerSlam weekend. I was just counting down the days and the days leading up to SummerSlam weekend. And my first trip was into Newark, New Jersey. Newark, New Jersey hosted WWE for the first time in 7 years. So WWE hasn't been in Newark for 7 years, and they returned to Newark. Now I don't know if they're ever going to return there, but I was glad that I was there, and I was glad that I was a part of it. And this was absolutely great. The crowd in Newark was hot. They were ready for SmackDown's Go Home show. It was the final SmackDown before SummerSlam Eve, and the weather was. I'm going to tell you this much before I even get to my journey. The weather really cooperated the entire weekend. It wasn't hot. It was the temperature was about 85, 86 degrees both nights. And when the sun went down and it was an evening, was we were outdoors, the weather was just great. It cooperated. It was about 60 plus degrees with a breeze coming through the stadium. Perfect weather for SummerSlam. It was absolutely flawless. The weather was flawless, and it was great. And WWE production did a great job making it feel like a WrestleMania type vibe inside MetLife Stadium. So I want to give a hats off to the stadium crew, and of course to MetLife Stadium and WWE production people. They really and truly did a marvelous job on the set and the staging and everything. It was great to see. The view that I had was absolutely fantastic, even though I was far away. But I'm going to tell you something, folks. I zoomed in on the ring area, and I gave you all some of my best videos that I had, and some of the 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 best photos that I took of the arena. I mean, it was absolutely great. I really enjoyed SummerSlam as a fan. And this was part, I was part of history. And nobody could ever say you never was there, because I was there. I was absolutely there, and I was soaking up the atmosphere and soaking up what the WWE Universe brought out. So kudos to the WWE Universe, kudos to MetLife, kudos to WWE, and kudos to the production people. Absolutely all the way around, great stuff. And Cardi B was absolutely fantastic. She came out night number one and she hosted SummerSlam, and it was great. We had a flyover. We had the national anthem being sung. I mean, this was just like I said. It felt like a WrestleMania vibe. It really did. The whole entire show felt like a WrestleMania type vibe, and it was absolutely great. You just brought back the days where I went to WrestleMania twice. I went to WrestleMania twice when WrestleMania returned to MetLife and it came home to MetLife. I I mean it was great. And now many years later, WWE returns to MetLife and brings you SummerSlam. So again, congratulations to Triple H, TKO, and everybody else who did SummerSlam. It was great. So here's the thing. I thought night number one was all right. I didn't think. I mean, some of the matches that were on there, we're gonna talk about it. I just felt that it had like a Raw type feel to it, like a Monday Night Raw. I don't know why, but the matches felt like it was like a Raw, like you were seeing a Raw live, and it was first time outdoors. That's what it felt like to me. The night number one. It had the Raw vibes to it. But that was just my feeling. That was my take on it. I don't know about you all. Can't talk about you all. But for me, it felt like I was at Monday Night Raw, night one. I don't know. It just had that Raw vibe to it. I don't know. It's just that's the way I felt about it. Um, but but we're gonna talk about the matches. Jeffrey says Cardi B was definitely a fan, cheering on Jade in her match too. Yeah, she was absolutely. Yeah, WWE production team always on point. Yeah, they are. They absolutely are, Jeffrey. Um, Glad you had a great time. Or thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you very much. Night two was better. Okay, okay. So yeah, I had a great time as a fan. I had a fun time as a fan, and this was great. This was great. So we're gonna talk about night number one. All right, let's talk about night number one. All right, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. The match was fine, but you know what I liked? You know what I like too? You know what I love about this match? Jay Uso and the Uso the Yeats. I mean, this crowd was all I mean, I wish I would have taken a video of it. You should have seen the crowd in and around the bowl and on the floor and all the way up and all points in between. People were doing even I was doing it from my seat. I was doing the yeet. I mean, this was great. Jey Uso comes down and he was just doing the yeet all over the place. This was absolutely great. I absolutely loved it. This was great. The crowd was really into this match. And when Roman came out, he came out to a huge ovation, a huge pop. And this was great. This was a great tag team. Heyman Heyman thought he had the match in his bag. He said that there was no way that Roman Reigns and Jey Uso were gonna survive Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. But boy, did they have their number. They both took each other to the limit. Both teams took each other to the limit. But when the smoke was cleared, Roman and Jay stood tall and they defeated Braun Breaker and Jey Uso. So this was great. The match was fine. The match was all right for what it was. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was good for what it was. And I don't I don't I don't think I want to see this again, but on an entertainment level, I'll give the match a 7. The match gets a 7. And it was good for what it was. Both men did their part well. Great chemistry, great nuance in the match, and everything else. So I thought the match was great. I thought this was really, really good stuff from Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. As you know, Roman Reigns was attacked again by Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, again attacking him, taking his sneakers again. The Ula Fala sneaker was put around Bronson Reed again. He's wearing the sneakers and everything else, and he's walking around with Roman sneakers. Very fun tag team match. I agree, Jeffrey. Very fun tag team. Very fun tag team match. And I gave the match a 7. The match gets a 7, and it was good for what it was. All right. All right, let's continue. The women's tag team championship match. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Now, this match shocked me. What did Jeffrey say? Nah, the Shula Flala. The Shula Flala. Yeah, whenever they call it the Shula. Yeah. Yeah. Please tell me you would what is everything? So into my chat. Hold on, folks. I did something. Hold on, I'll be right back. I, I did something technical there. I had to go fix it. But um what was I saying before? I lost my train of thought. Oh, the match with Roman. Yeah. Um I was asking if you was eating. Yeah, I was eating too. I was yeeting all over that arena. I did the yeet too. I mean, I joined in the crowd. I mean, it was so much fun to do and see the sea of humanity, 53,000 people doing the yeeting. It was great. It was a great moment. I loved it. All right, let's talk about this next match, folks. The WWE Women's Tag Team match. It was Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. This match shocked me. This match shocked me, and I'm going to tell you why. I was not expecting Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss to win the tag team match. I wasn't expecting them. I thought I had in my predictions, I had said that Roxanne Perez and of course Raquel would retain the titles. But that's not what WWE wanted. We got a shockment here. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez are no longer tag team champs. That belongs to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. But let me tell you something. I don't think this is going to last long. I don't think this is going to last long, and I'm going to tell you why. I think Charlotte's going to turn on Alexa eventually. I don't think this marriage is going to last too long. Charlotte is a glory hog. She likes to be in the spotlight herself. She don't like to share the spotlight with anybody. She's a flare. She's a flare, and we all know that. So I'm going to say they're going to have a decent title reign, but it won't last long. And I think in the end, Charlotte is going to turn on Alexa, and it's going to cost them those belts, and they're going to give it back. They probably will give it back to Roxanne and Raquel at some point. What did Jeffrey say? Yeah, the crowd was chanting, and we want Charlotte, and we want. Yeah, the crowd was chanting, we want Charlotte. I was expecting Charlotte and Alexa would win. Oh, all right, Jeffrey, you had different. Okay, that's great. Okay, so 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 we have a brand new tag team champs. But like I said before, I say it again, I don't think this marriage is going to last too long. Because, like I said before, I say it again. Charlotte is a hog. She does not like being in the spotlight. She don't share the spotlight with nobody. She doesn't. So if you're thinking about these two gonna have a great title reign in the sunset, don't bet the farm on that. I wouldn't bet the farm on that, folks. Eventually, it's gonna crack, and it's gonna lead to Charlotte turning on Alexa. But anyway, the match was fun. The match was fine. The match was fine for what it was. I'll give the match a 7. I'll give the match a 7. I'll give the match a 7. It was fine for what it was. I like it. I like the way they interact with all four of them. I thought they were great. And what did Jeffrey say? Well, Earl, rumors are saying Alexa might go back to her dark character and turn on Charlotte. Well, that's another thing that could happen, Jeffrey. It's either Charlotte gonna turn on Alexa or Alexa turns on Charlotte. Either way, something's gonna pop off here with these two. And we'll see which way the pendulum switch here. But anyway, Charlotte and Alexa are your brand new tag team champs. Okay. All right. The women's championship match. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. Okay, the match was fine. The match was fine. This was the first time Jade Cargill took on Tiffany Stratton. This is the first time ever. The match was all right for what it was. I wasn't really. I don't know. Yeah, something's gonna happen down the road. Yeah, I agree. So I did not. I thought the match was a little. It was all right. Jade is a little green, as everyone knows. She's not really that crisp in the ring. And Tiffany Stratton has a lot of athleticism to her. So the match, she made the match fun for what it was. Well, I want to see it again. No, no, I don't want to see it again. Um, on an entertainment level, I'll give the match a 5. The match gets a 5. Tiffany Stratton retains the title, and retained she did, and it was the right decision by WWE to have Tiffany retain, because you don't want to see Jade is not ready yet to have a championship around her waist. She's just not. But I mean, she showed up in the match. She pushed Jade to her limit. Jade comes out and and she pushed Tiffany, excuse me, to her limit, and she retains. Tiffany retains. It's really not for me to say after that. I honestly had Jade winning this. Oh, okay. All right, Jeffrey. I had the opposite. I knew Tiffany Stratton was going to retain. I knew she was going to retain, and retain she did. Okay. All right. So that was that. Um, Sami Zayn took on Karrion Kross. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of controversy with with Karrion Kross. We don't know if he's going to be released. We don't know if he's going to resign. We don't know what's going on with Karrion Kross. There's a lot of rumors going around. There's a lot in the internet world. Many multiple sources. Many people are talking about Karrion Kross. Could SummerSlam be his last match with Sami Zayn? Don't know. We don't know. But Sami Zayn defeated Karrion Kross at SummerSlam. Looks like Jade might get a mid-card title. We'll have to see about that. But Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn wins over Kross. And now I'm glad that they're done with that feud because now Zayn is fighting with Solo Sikoa, and we could get a match at Clash in the Paris with Sami Zayn taking on Solo Sikoa for the United States Championship. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we get to that match and Nick Aldis books the match. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. What did Jeffrey said? We only know that his contract has. Yeah, that's the only thing I know. His contract has expired. The contract expired, but we don't know whether he is going to if he's going to resign or is he done with WWE. We'll find out in coming weeks, and we'll find out. Okay. Okay. All right. Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Now, here's the thing that I didn't understand this. And maybe I can maybe you will help me with this. Why did you have Jelly Roll lose at SummerSlam when it's his first match? Why did you all have Jelly Roll lose? I don't understand that. That didn't make any sense to me. The booking didn't make any. I was scratching my head at the booking. I was like, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll should have went over in this match. They should have. They should have went over in the match. Why would you have Jelly Roll lose in a big pay-per-view like this, like SummerSlam, to Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul? Now I know why. Because now they're going to make Logan Paul brag about how he defeated Jelly Roll and Randy Orton. So now what do we do with Orton? What are we going to do with Randy Orton? I don't know. Exactly. Exactly. Lose in front of it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that at all. Why would you have Jelly Roll lose in front of the crowd like that? And I mean, what was the purpose of that? I didn't understand that tag match made no sense to me. But anyway, Jelly Roll and Orton lose the match. And on the entertainment level, I'm going to give this match. I'll give the match a 5. The match gets a 5, and that's the best I can do for. I'll give the match a 5. I'm not going to jump up and down about it. I just thought the booking was weird, very weird. The finish was weird, very strange, and a head scratcher. I mean, if it was me booking the match, Jelly Roll and Orton would have went over in the match. Point blank, a story. Nobody can change my mind on the finish. And that's the way I feel. I don't know about you all, but that's the way I feel. Um, Jelly was selling his ass. Yes, I agree with that. He did sell his behind off. I have to agree with that, Jeffrey. He sold well. It wasn't like he was overselling. He sold it well. He sold everything that McIntyre and Paul did to him in the match. So I gave him a heads up, but to put him to lose, that was weird. That was weird. I don't agree with that. I didn't agree with that ending at all. All right. Um. All right, folks. We are up to the main event of night number one, and this closed night number one. Now I'm going to tell you this much: this was probably one of the most compelling main events of all SummerSlam time. This was the most compelling thing I have seen. Gunther defended his title against CM Punk. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I want to talk about this for a second. I'm gonna just talk about this for a second. I want you all to understand something. What I'm about to tell you, what I'm about to say about this main event of SummerSlam, it's these are my thoughts and these are my feelings. Now I cannot tell you what to do. You have your own mind and your own thoughts. If you think differently than what I'm about to say, then fine. That's fine. I mean, you're your own person. You're your own human being. I'm not stepping on your thought process, and I'm not trampling on it either. Okay, this is probably what I would have done with this main event. I would have had CM Punk put Gunther to his limit. All right. They both battled and out. CM Punk busts Gunther open. All right. Gunther is bleeding. Punk is just about to pin Gunther and become champion when all of a sudden Rollins' music hits. Punk looks up the ramp and he sees Rollins come out with the briefcase and his crutches. Now, what does he do? Punk thinks that he can't. Punk believes in his head Rollins can't come in here because he's injured. He's got a busted knee. There's no way he's coming in this match. Well, all of a sudden, Rollins takes off the braces. He takes off the crutches and he fakes out CM Punk. He runs down to the ring, gives the briefcase to the referee, and says, "We're going to have a triple threat match." The triple threat happens. We get an announcement that the cash in is happening. We now have a triple threat match for the the title. All right, the match continues. Punk goes there and he knows it's not a no disqualification now because it's a triple threat. There's no disqualification in a triple threat. He uses the briefcase and he nails Punk with it. He nails Punk with it and he nails Gunther with it. Gunther falls out of the ring. He can't come back, Gunther. And Rollins pins Punk for the 1, 2, 3. That is how I would have booked the match. That's how I would have booked the match. That's how I would book the match. This was a fun main. Yes, it was. Yeah. So that is how I would have booked the match. I wasn't a fan of listen, folks. This is I forgot who I was dealing with. This is WWE, and they do the most unpredictable things. Okay, so what happens in the match? Gunther gets busted open. CM Punk puts Gunther to sleep. The referee counts 1, 2, 3. CM Punk is your brand new heavyweight champion. Hold the phone. Punk was only champion for 5 minutes and 45 seconds. When all of a sudden, Rollins comes out of the curtain with the crutch, with the briefcase. He takes off the briefcase, he takes off the crutches, drops them to the arena floor. On the stage. He takes off the brace. Nothing is wrong with Rollins. Nothing is wrong. And what happened is, this is the sequence that happened. Rollins wanted to make sure that Punk knew, and that he knew that Rollins pretended to be injured. So what did he do? He used a ruse. So what he did is he had somebody go on the internet and take a picture of him going to Birmingham, Alabama to the doctor. Okay. Rollins never went to the doctor. He never had an MRI done. He never did none of it. Becky Lynch then puts out a photo of Rollins walking around in the parking lot with crutches and a brace. This was brilliant. This was the most brilliant thing I've ever seen these two do. He suckered you in. I knew this was a work. I knew this was a work. This was nothing. There was nothing wrong with Rollins. So Rollins kept sucking you in and sucking you in and sucking you to think that he was really severely injured. Then he goes on a podcast and says, "Well, I think this injury is gonna put me out past WrestleMania, and I think I'm gonna be out." And again, you sucked it up. Again, you sucked it up. And it was like, I'm sitting there listening to this guy, and I'm like, listen, I have a feeling this is all a ruse. This is a ruse. Come on now. WWE didn't say anything on their social media, because usually if a superstar is really injured and they had surgery, they would have posted that immediately on WWE.com. There was nothing on social media. There was nothing on X. There was nothing on anywhere on Rollins. Nobody was saying nothing. Everybody was tight-lipped about Rollins and his injury. So you knew this was something up. You knew this was something. And I know that was something because, like I said before, I'll say it again. This was absolutely a genius move by Rollins, because he kept sucking you in and telling you, "Oh, woe is me, I'm injured. I'm not going to make it to Royal Rumble. I'm not going to make it to WrestleMania. I'm going to be out until after WrestleMania, and the surgery is going to be huge." This was great. This was this, and I didn't fall for it. I didn't fall for none of it. I didn't fall for none of it. I didn't fall for none of it. I knew it was a work. Yeah, I just come on. Rollins hates Punk that much. Yes, he does. Yes, he does, Jeff. And if you all remember, Rollins said he will, as long as he's in WWE, he will make sure Punk never taste, touch, put on, hug, any of that, any of those words, touch that title again. And he made his promise, and it came to fruition. So Rollins comes down, he cashes in the briefcase. Punk is stunned. He hits Punk upside the head with the briefcase, stomps the crap out of him, and Rollins walks away. SummerSlam goes fade to black with Rollins winning the championship. This was brilliant. This was brilliant. Punk didn't get a chance to take a picture to take the championship home to Larry and AJ. Yeah, well, yeah. So Punk had the title for 5 minutes and 45 seconds. And now Rollins is stuck in a fatal four-way because Adam Pearce got tired of his bull crap. He got tired of his bull crap and he came out on Raw and he said, "You are now in a fatal four-way for that title." So Rollins has to go and Clash in the Paris in 2 weeks on pay-per-view, Peacock, and cable and home and satellite providers, which starts at 2 o'clock, by the way. And he will defend the title against Jey Uso, against CM Punk, and against L.A. Knight. Yeah. So, I mean, this Adam Pearce came out and he stuck it to Rollins. But you know Rollins has a plan. You know he's going to retain the title against those three men. You know that's what he's going to do. You know he's got a plan. Could we see a new member of Rollins' faction be introduced here to help Rollins retain? That's a good question. Because of strength in numbers. All right, folks. That was night number 1. That was night number 1, folks. I gave the show as a whole, I'll give it a B. The entire card from soup to nuts had a raw vibe to it. I'll give the show a B. The match, the show gets a B, and that's the best I can do for it. I gave the show a B. So that was night number 1 of SummerSlam. That was night number 1. All right, we move over to night number 2. And what did Jeffrey say? And that's the same time Drew had the championship at WrestleMania. Yes, Drew only had that title, I think it was under 5 minutes. I think it was under 5. I think it was under 5, or was it 5? One of those. And Punk cost Drew the title. Well, it was Drew's fault. If you want me to be perfectly honest with you, it was Drew's fault. He shouldn't have flaunted in Punk's face. He should have went to the back with his family and celebrated. But he went there and he flaunted it in Punk's face. That's what he was. He was obsessed with Punk, and Punk fixed him. And Damian Priest came out and catch it. Well, you already know the rest. Around the same time. Okay. All right, folks, let's talk about night number 2. Night number 2 drew 63,000 people. And here was the match. Women's championship match. Naomi versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. The match was fun. And I absolutely love this new persona of Naomi. Proceed with caution. I love it. I don't know who invented it, who came up with it. Probably Naomi. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, before I continue, it was Drew's fault. Before I continue, folks, before I say anything else, Naomi was on Stephanie McMahon's podcast. What's your story with Stephanie McMahon? I'm going to tell you something, folks. I don't know if you've ever seen Stephanie McMahon's podcast. She is doing a bang up job with that show. that I have seen some highlights and some clips on YouTube, and I've seen the show, and I've seen her conduct interviews. It's badass. It really is a fun podcast, and I think you all should watch it. Stephanie does an amazing job at her podcast. She's fun, she's funny, she likes to laugh, she's having a good time. She sits there and she asks the questions, and she really is delved into the world of podcasting. So go check her out. Give her some support. Show do some feedback and go to Stephanie McMahon's podcast. Um, she had she had Jimmy Uso on there with Naomi, and her husband Naomi. I mean his wife Naomi. Excuse me. Jimmy and Naomi was on there, and they did a. She did an amazing job with them. She did an amazing job with Jimmy and Naomi. She really did. And we still don't know what's going on with Naomi. There is some speculation that Naomi will be out for a long time. We don't know what the story is, and we can't really speculate on what's going on with Naomi. All I can tell you is, folks, unless WWE makes an announcement about Naomi and Naomi makes an announcement about what she's been going through and what's going on with Naomi, we cannot speculate on what's wrong. People are spreading rumors around, oh, she's pregnant, she's this, you don't know what's going on with Naomi. We don't know what's going on with Naomi. We have to get WWE to make some kind of official statement, and Naomi has to make an official statement. And I think everyone should just give her the space that she needs. We don't know what's going on with Naomi. We don't know what happened. She was supposed to defend her title last Monday night against Io Sky, and she could not defend it. She was not medically cleared. So we don't know what's going on with Naomi. We don't know. And I hope by Monday night we'll find out exactly what's happening because Clash in the Paris is 2 weeks away, and Stephanie Vacour is the number one contender, and she's supposed to meet Naomi in Paris. But I don't know if that match is going to happen. We don't know if that match is going to take place. So speculation and rumors, we can't speculate anymore. We just have to sit back and watch what WWE says, what Naomi says, and what the medical team is saying. So until then, folks, I don't have any other answer for you but that. Just don't come to conclusions yet until Naomi makes the official announcement and WWE makes the official announcement on what they're gonna do if that is the case. We don't know what the case is right now. Um, Jeffrey says it could be nothing at all. I mean, that is true. I mean, it could be nothing. I mean, you don't know. You don't know what it is. Let's not speculate on what's happening with her. Let's let it play out. That's what I said. I said the same thing. I said the same thing. And let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see what happens. Let's just wait and see what happens. We can't speculate on what's happening with her. So I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not going to jump up and down about it. And I'm not gonna jump to conclusions either. Not jumping on that bandwagon. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens with Naomi. And we will find out. We will definitely find out. Okay. So getting back to the match. Getting back to the match itself. Okay. Naomi took on Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. The match was fun. The match was fine. Um, I would be upset if she gets the championship, gets stripped. Yeah, I hope that's not the case. Agree, Earl. Yeah, I'm not gonna jump on that bandwagon, Jeffrey. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna jump to conclusions unless WWE says something else. And I wake up tomorrow morning, I wake up the next day and we find out something and we have to make an announcement. So We don't know what's going on with Naomi, but we wish her the well. We wish her the best. Let's give her space. Let's give her time, and then she will. WWE and her will address it. All right. Um, what Jeffrey said, bro. How do you like seeing her dad playing her in the? How do you? How did you like seeing her dad playing to her in the ring? I like that. I thought that was great. I really thought that was great. Her dad did bring her to the ring. I like that. I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't have an issue with it whatsoever. Didn't have an issue with it. Didn't have an issue with it whatsoever. I thought that was really cool. Thought that was cool. Um, but getting back to the match, Naomi, Naomi successfully retained the title, and she defeated Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. And again, Rhea Ripley has a curse. She has the Io Sky curse and the SummerSlam curse all at the same time. She certainly cannot defeat. She certainly cannot defeat Io Sky. Neither in singles, neither in triple threat, neither in everything. Again, Rhea Ripley's curse at SummerSlam continues, and her excuse me, and her drought, excuse me, and her drought with Io Sky continues. So that was the match. All right, this was historic. The WWE Tag Team titles were up for grabs in the men's department. It was a six-pack challenge TLC match, tables, ladders, and chairs. The Wyatt Six, Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy took on Andrade and Rey Fenix, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Faction, Motor City Machine Guns, the Street Profits. This was the first time in SummerSlam history that we had six men in a TLC match. I'm going to tell you something, folks. This match was woolly, wild, and all over the place. And it was historic. As I said, six men were in this match. Now, we had some debuts in the match as well. Not only did this make history, but we had some debuts in the match. First of all, the Wyatt Six made their debut at SummerSlam on pay-per-view. Made their debut. And then Andrade and Rey Fenix, they never worked together at SummerSlam, so this was their first. And Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, I believe that this was their first SummerSlam. Faction made their debut at SummerSlam. The City Machine Guns made their debut. So this was a lot of debuts and first and everything else in this match. So this match had a lot of history to it. This match had a lot of history to it, and it was a fun match. The Wyatt Six remained your tag team champions, but boy, oh boy, did they really put the metal to the pedal, so to speak, and they really was something else. Dro says Io is so much better than Rhea. Well, okay, I'm not gonna. I didn't think that. Remember, it was the 25th anniversary of the first TLC match at SummerSlam in 2000. Yes, Jeffrey. Yes, I was going to say that. Yeah, the match of the night was the TLC. Yes, I agree. The TLC match, folks, the TLC match was absolutely fantastic. This was great. This was a six-pack challenge. I really enjoyed the match. The match was fun for me. I got to see this match in its entirety, and I got to witness history. So, I mean, it was a win-win for me, and this was absolutely great. This was a great match. On an entertainment level, I'll give the match a 10. The match gets a 10. The match gets a 10, and that's what I'm going to give it on the entertainment level. On the entertainment level, I'll give the match a 10. It was fun. It was good. It was great. Wyatt Six retained their titles. Kudos to Nick Aldis for booking the match and everything. It's the first time in a long time that the tag team titles were defended at SummerSlam, and this was great. This was a great six-pack TLC match, and it was great. So hats off to Nick Aldis, our GM, for doing that. All right. All right, Women Jump said women involved was nice touch too. Yes, yeah, that was a nice touch. And Candice LeRae, oh my goodness, Candice LeRae took some nasty bump on the yes, Jeffrey. Poor Candice LeRae. She had a nasty black and blue bruise on her leg after she went and took that hellacious ride. Excuse me, she took the hellacious ride right in the table. And that was the end of Candace for tonight last. But it was Johnny Gargano who pushed her into that hellacious ride. But the Wyatt Six retained, and it was great. And the Fireflies were out, and they were all. I mean, it was a great sight. It was a great sight to see. It was a great sight to see the Fireflies come out. Okay, all right. Let's move on. Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. No DQ. No DQ. There must be a winner. Okay. Here's the thing in the match. Here was the stipulation in the match. Okay. Lyra Valkyria came out of a recent edition of Raw and she was making a promo. Becky Lynch came out and she was making a promo. Lyra Valkyria comes out and she confronted Becky Lynch. She says to Becky Lynch, we need to have a stip in the match. So she says, so Becky Lynch says, as long as I'm champion, you will never challenge for this title again. So Lyra Valkyria says, okay, but I need to have a stip from you. So there's no count outs, no disqualification, then there must be a winner. Becky Lynch, under her breath, very sorry, said, okay, fine. So Becky Lynch says, fine. All right, so the match was on. So this match was on. Now, like I said before, I'm glad WWE ended this feud because we cannot have Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria and Becky. It gets over redundant. It's too much already. We've seen it too many times already. The crowd was bored to tears with the match. They started to do the wave, which I thought was disrespectful, very disrespectful to the match. I understand you've seen this already, but you didn't have to do that. I think that was very tacky for the fans to do that. You don't do that to a woman. You don't do that to anybody in a match. I understand you've seen it already, but you don't have to be that tacky and don't be that classless. That was not necessary. Um, but other than that, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad it was done too. Yeah. The match was fine. The match was all right for what it was. I give the match a 6. I give the match a 6. Um, Bailey comes out. Bailey comes out, and I thought she was going to turn heel at this point. Becky Lynch, she looked like she was going to turn heel. But what happened in the match was Bailey stood up on the ring, and she was going to nail Becky Lynch. Instead, she nailed Lyra Valkyria, and Becky Lynch rolled her off for the 1, 2, 3. So the feud is over. It's done. It's in the books. It's kaput. As long as Becky Lynch is champion, Ira Valkyria can never again challenge Becky for the Intercontinental. She is banned from doing that, which is fine. Which is fine because now we could put Lara Valkyria in a different program with different people. And that is what we need. And Becky Lynch can feud with anybody she wants in the locker room for that Intercontinental. As a matter of fact, the new challenge was on Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella wants a piece of Becky Lynch, and I think she's gonna get it. Where she's gonna get it, I have no idea. Um, Bailey comes out, and yeah, Bailey comes on and accidentally it's like, yeah, she did. And Dro said Bailey is going to turn heel again. I can see it, but when I don't know. She looks like she's gonna snap. She looks like she's ready to snap. She's gonna do the snapola. But when is that gonna happen? I don't know. I don't know. I think Nikki wins the title. Well, we're gonna have to see about that, Jeffrey. We'll see about that. Okay, folks. Um, Thank you for watching the Wrestling Experience. My name is Earl Cole, and thank you all for watching tonight. Please make sure that you hit the like button. You, everyone in the chat, hit the like button, and of course, you subscribe and you share because when you share, you care. And thank you so much for your time and energy. And make sure that you tell everybody the Wrestling Experience is here for you. We're doing 3 years of fun, 3 years of entertainment, 3 years of analyzing wrestling, 3 years of good times. And I'm all about that. And you all are too. And thank you so much for watching the Wrestling Experience. And thank you for being a supporter. Thank you for all the likes, all the subscriptions, all of the love. And I greatly appreciate it. Um, what is the bit? Jeffrey said Oscar and Bailey gonna snap. I have a feeling that's gonna happen. All right, folks. So that was the match. All right, the United States Championship match. Solo Sokoa took on Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu and Solo Sokoa in a cage. All right, I'm gonna say this to you, folks. I'm gonna say this. I don't know how to say it. Say it as expeditiously as I could possibly say it. This match was full of shenanigans. The match was full of shenanigans, and I told everyone that the match is gonna be full of shenanigans. This match was going to be marred with shenanigans, and I was right. The MFTs came out and they interfered in the match. They helped Solo retain. I don't have anything to say about it. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. I have not. Jacob Fatu couldn't win back the title because of the shenanigans. I have nothing to say. And on an entertainment level, I gave the match a 4. The steel cage gets a 4. It gets a 4 for me because it was full of shenanigans. It's full of shenanigans. Um, yeah, this match was very disappointing. It was. I told everybody it was gonna be full of shenanigans. I told everyone that. I knew it was gonna be full of shenanigans. I knew it. I smelled it. I smelled it a mile away. I knew it was full of shenanigans. And that was it. I'm not a fan of shenanigans. And this stage match should have been. This is no bueno for me. This cage match it wasn't stinko. It was whack. The ending was whack. Solo comes out there, Ikalea comes out and smashed the cage door in his face, and squeals out of the cage like a worm and retains. Nothing else to say. There's nothing else I can say at this point. Nothing. So that was it for the match, folks. That was it. That was it. All right. Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles. Again, folks, this match was great. Jimmy even tried to help. Yeah, I know. I had nothing to say about this match. So the Intercontinental Championship match was up for grabs, and we had Dominic Mysterio taking on AJ Styles. I had said in my predictions AJ Styles would have became the new Intercontinental Championship. Boy, did I eat crow. Dominic Mysterio wins the match when he did an old trick like Eddie Guerrero. If you remember, the late great Eddie Guerrero was in a match in Madison Square Garden at WrestleMania, and he had his shoe taken off in the match. They used the same booking from that match to this match. Same booking, same booking with the shoe off. WWE is lazy when it comes to things like, now why would you rip this off? Why would you rip this off? Um AJ coming out with the lowrider with his son was, yeah, that was awesome. That part was awesome. I thought that was awesome. The match itself was marred with laziness in the booking department. I mean, this was lazy. You ripped off a sequence in a match that took place at WrestleMania in the Garden with Eddie Guerrero taking his shoe off. Why would you do that? Why would you revert back to that? That's lazy. That is lazy booking, folks. That's lazy. Can you come up with something else in the ending? I thought the ending was whack. I thought the ending was whack. He comes out with the shoe and defeats AJ Styles. What kind of crap is that? That's that. I'm sorry for that. To me, that's whack. That's whack. That is, if you got to steal, listen to me carefully. If you got to go back in your archives and look at what Eddie Guerrero did. Now, I understand you want to respect Eddie Guerrero. I respect Eddie Guerrero. I think he was. What was that? I think he was. Yeah, I'm gonna dial it back a little bit. What I just said. I think he was doing this. I think he was doing a service to Eddie Guerrero, and I get it. I get it. I get the ending. He wanted to do it like Eddie Guerrero with the shoe coming off and everything else. I understand it, but I don't know. I mean, you could have did it at the end of the match. I mean, you could have did it after the bell was over, and Dom Mysterio tried to beat up on AJ, and then he was trying to grab at Dominic, and then the shoe came off. You could have did something like that at the end of the match, but you had to do it during the middle of the ending. All right, I'm not a fan of it. I understand why you wanted to do it. You wanted to honor Eddie. I get it. I was an Eddie Guerrero fan myself. Lie, cheat, and steal. I absolutely. I rest in power, Eddie Guerrero. I mean, he was something else. Eddie Guerrero. He was something else. He was nothing short of sensational. Eddie Guerrero. When what he them trickeries he did in the ring. Um, I think it. Yeah, I agree with. Okay, so I'm gonna dial it back, and I'm sorry, but it was just that I was a little upset about the match. But all right, nice, nice, now I see. Now I see. Hey, he's Eddie's son. I know, I know, Jeff. I know, I got it. You don't have to beat me over the head. I got it. I didn't. All right. I'm gonna dial it back, and I apologize. I'm gonna take back everything I said. All right. As far as the match is concerned, I gave the match a 7. I give the match a 7. AJ was entertaining, and so was Dominic. He non-existent muscles he was showing the audience, and he thinks he's the greatest Intercontinental Championship of all time. Okay. All right. I think differently, but I'm not gonna. I'll just keep my opinion to myself. Okay, folks, we're up to the main event of SummerSlam Night 2, and that was the Steel Cage. Okay. No, I mean, not Steel Cage, excuse me. This was a street fight for the Undisputed Championship. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Okay. Whew. There's a lot to unpack here. Did uh did it back Earl and unlock I don't know what that means, Jeffrey, but okay. Non-existent muscle. Yeah, he didn't have non-existent muscles. That's what he had, if you will. Thunder Rosa, Thunder. Oh, we're not talking about the AW. Okay. Okay. Um. Yeah. Yeah. That. Okay. So Cody Rhodes took on John Cena for a street fight. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, folks, with this main event. Everybody and their mom says that Cody Rhodes was going to turn heel on this and that. And it was like everybody in their mom was talking about this Cody Rhodes turning heel. I knew he wasn't going to turn heel. I knew he wasn't going to turn heel. I'm surprised Cody. I listen. I'm surprised Cody didn't turn heel. Yeah, well, Dro, I knew that this was. I knew he was going to turn heel. I knew this was not going to happen. What I did predict was that Cody was going to get back the title, and he did. And he did. But boy, what did we get after the match? Brock Lesnar comes back after the scandal with Mr. McMahon. Brock Lesnar comes back, and he laid waste to Cena. So now, excuse me, Cena and Lesnar will be in a package very soon. Um, Not gonna lie, I thought Cena was playing us and going back. Yeah, I did too, but I knew that he was gonna. This was what I knew what was gonna happen. They were gonna put Cena back heel because the thing with Travis Scott is over. WWE is done with Travis Scott. They're done with that. The final boss, he's dealing with whatever he's dealing with in Hollywood and TKO business, so he's not gonna get involved with Cena anymore. I don't think. And they had to put Cena back in babyface mode. The the heel run was fine. The title run was fine, but now they reversed it back and put Cena back in a babyface role. And Cody Rhodes wins the match. Now he's gonna defend the title against Drew McIntyre Clash in Paris, and that's it. And Cena will dance with Brock Lesnar. So that is what the WWE wanted to have happen, and that's exactly what's gonna happen at this point. So what did Jeffrey say? Now we know why Cena is facing yes. Yes. This time we know why. As you all remember, when Lesnar was here the last time, he was in a feud with Cody Rhodes, and WWE never told you why that happened, why he kept attacking us. WWE and Lesnar did not tell us why. That's why Jeffrey put it in big question mark and big block letters like that, because now we know why. But let me tell you something. The last time Lesnar was in WWE, his last run was absolutely abysmal. It was terrible. I did not like Lesnar's run at all in the WWE. And this is what I'm concerned with. This is what I'm concerned with. Once Lesnar is done with Cena and Cena leaves WWE, that leaves Lesnar open to feud with who? Cody Rhodes. And what I'm afraid of is that they're going to take Cody Rhodes' belt off of Cody and give it to Lesnar, and Lesnar will disappear with it, and we will never see that title again. That title's going to become irrelevant. Because as you know, Lesnar, when he was champion, he was never prominent on TV. He never showed up. He never showed up for pay-per-views. He never showed up on house shows. He never showed up on TV. He didn't show up anywhere. He only showed up when he felt like it. And that's the problem that I have, and that's what I'm concerned with, is that once Lesnar is done with Cena, He's gonna go after Rhodes, get the belt back, and we'll never see it again. And that's the problem that I have with WWE. I'm concerned about that because I don't trust this company. I don't trust this company at all when it comes to their thought process. I don't trust them. So that's the only problem that I have with Lesnar coming back. Because let's just face it, you really want to see Lesnar as champion again and make that title disappear for months on end, and you never see it again, and it's never defended again, and Rollins is the only person defending the title on the pay-per-view? That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. That is not right at all. And I don't think the WWE Universe should stand for that if that's the way the WWE is going to think here. So I'm a little nervous about this. I'm a little nervous about this and I'm a little concerned about this. But other than that, the match was fine. The match was fine for what it was. It was fine for what it was. Great main event. Good to see Cena go back to babyface. And now we know which direction everyone's going into. Um, Jeffrey says, no, we don't want to see Lesnar as champion again. No, yes, exactly. Brock wants to retire too. Okay, well, okay, that's good. Cena Nightmare was returned. Yep. Now we know. Yeah, okay. I read that. Okay. Yeah, so we don't want to see Lesnar as champion again. And I really hope WWE doesn't do it. I really hope he doesn't do it. They don't do it. They don't. Because I don't want to see this again. I don't want to see Lesnar as champion again because I will be angry as a fan. I'm going to be angry and very disappointed in WWE if they do that. If they put that title back on Lesnar and defeat Cody, I'm going to be very angry. I'm going to be very disappointed in WWE and for their lazy booking. Because if you put that title back on Lesnar, he's never gonna defend it. He'll never defend it. He'll only defend it when he wants to. And WWE is gonna be handcuffed because they're gonna cater to Lesnar. I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see that again because that is a disservice to the fans of WWE. WWE fans deserve to have a champion who defends the title in house shows, in TV, and everywhere else in between, not just once a month and then disappear for 7, 9 months and then come back and defend the title. I don't want to see that again. I really don't want to see that again. And that should not be. That's not right to the WWE universe. That's not right. You do that. You make that title relevant then. No one's going to care about that undisputed championship. Nobody. And then Rollins is the only workhorse champion that you have in the company. That's not right. No. You should have two workhorse champions in Rollins and Rhodes. And that's who you should go with. All right, folks, that was SummerSlam 2025. Honestly, he doesn't need it. And no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No. No. Cena versus Brock at Clash in the past. I could see that happen too. Yeah. Um, so that's the only concern in my little rant on that. But other than that, the main event was great. I thought it was good. I'll give the main event an 8. The main event is an 8. It was entertaining. It was good. And folks, that was SummerSlam 2025. That was SummerSlam 25, folks. I had a good time, good weekend. Night number 2 is better than one. I'm gonna have to say that, and I'm gonna give night number 2 a B plus. The night number 2 gets B plus for me. The matches were more fun, and they were entertaining. And night 2 was better. Yeah, Dro. I'm gonna give night number 2 a B plus. I give it a B plus. I like night number 2. I like what was produced. And Triple H said you haven't seen anything yet when he introduced to the crowd SummerSlam. And he was right. The main event was great. Main event was great. Loved it. Okay, folks, that was SummerSlam. All right, folks, we're gonna close. We're gonna close the night here with wrestling news. We're gonna go with wrestling news, and let's see here. All right, folks, we're gonna do wrestling news, and then we are going to get out of here. All right, folks. Tony Nese has been working as a coach and an agent in AEW per Fightful. So Tony Nese no longer is on TV for AEW, and he's not wrestling in AEW anymore. He's a coach and an agent. All right. And he is going to do that with AEW. And that is courtesy of Fightful. Okay, folks. Just to tell you before I continue with the news, wrestling news, I want to make this announcement to you. If you are planning to attend WrestleMania 41, listen to me carefully. If you are planning to attend not 41, WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas, Nevada, WWE has made an announcement today about WrestleMania 42. If you are attending WrestleMania 42, didn't know AEW had a code. Yes. If you are attending WrestleMania 42 next April in Las Vegas, Nevada, I have good news for you. Combination tickets for WrestleMania 42 will go on sale September the 24th. That is September the 24th. Combination tickets go on sale for WrestleMania 42. And what did Dro say? WrestleMania should be 42 should be a great show. Yes, it should be. So combination tickets, folks, for WrestleMania 42 will go on sale September the 24th. That is September the 24th, and I believe that will be on a Friday. It will be September the 24th. Now, pre-sale will begin on the 22nd of September, and the tickets, combination tickets, will go on sale September the 24th. That is for WrestleMania 42. If you want to be a part of it and you want to get 2-night combination tickets, we've got the same section, same seats. I always tell people all the time, when you do a 2-night event like WrestleMania or SummerSlam, get a combination. Because in this way, you don't have to worry about the section. You don't have to worry about the seat. You don't know what to worry about where you're going to sit. Get a combination. It's better. You have the ticket, you have the gate, you know where you're gonna sit, and it's the same seat, same section, you know where you're gonna sit. So get a combination ticket. It might be a little expensive this time around, but you know what? It's worth it. Go and get real seats for WrestleMania 42. Combination seats go on sale September the 24th. Okay. All right, folks. All right. All right, folks. Let's continue with the wrestling news. The PW Insider reports that the new Indian promotion called Global League Wrestling, that has Great Khali, is involved in heading up Australia promotion, Con Valley. Okay. So Great Khali is involved in a wrestling promotion in Australia. Oh, some good stuff. As you know, the Great Khali was in WWE, and well, It just didn't go too well for Great Khali. All right. In an interview with the Daily Star, TNA President Carlos Silva says the new video game has been added to the promotion's goal list. So TNA is going to come out with a video game. Okay, that sounds good. Why not? If WWE can do it, why can TNA? All right. And while we're on the subject of prop belts on matches with scripted outcomes, John Cena and Seth Rollins opened as big favorites for Clash in Paris. So Rollins and Cena, Rollins and Cena looks like they're going to be big favorites in Clash in Paris. Okay, sounds good. And speaking, oh, and by the way, tomorrow night, don't forget Triple Mania will happen. Is that tomorrow night? Yeah. Triple Mania, folks. Triple Mania will happen tomorrow, will happen Saturday night at 9 p.m. on the WWE's YouTube channel. It will be broadcast in English and Spanish. Now, the English version, Corey Graves will be calling the match along with JBL. JBL and Corey Graves will call the match a Triple Mania. So if you want to check out Triple Mania, and of course JBL and Corey Graves come together and call luchador matches, watch WWE on their YouTube channel and you'll be entertained. Okay. Um, on the same wrestling, JBL that he'll be commentating for AAA Mania this Saturday on YouTube. He'll join the team. He joined the team that Worlds Collide, Corey Graves, and Conan. So it's going to be a three-man booth. It will be JBL, Corey Graves, and Conan will all call AAA Triple Mania this Saturday. All right. Nothing confirmed, but the Wrestling Observer's Live, Brian Alvarez, heard that there's a discussion at WWE about moving Saturday night's main event. That planned for early December the 27th. That would put the show that expected to feature John Cena's final match head to head with World's End. So if you didn't hear the announcement, World's End will happen on December the 27th. World's End will happen on the 27th of December, and that will happen in Chicago, Illinois, Hoffman States at the Now Arena. But John Cena is supposed to have his final match ever on Saturday night's main event. But WWE is thinking about moving the show so that it won't clash with World's End. And I agree with this because here's the thing. This is Cena's final match in December. Cena will have his final match ever. And I think Cena's match deserves no conflict. It deserves no conflict. It deserves enough airtime. So I think that this is smart by WWE. I don't think that I think that they should move Saturday night's main event to earlier in December and do it that way. Do it that way because you don't want John Cena's last match to be going against World's End pay-per-view. This is AEW's final pay-per-view offering, by the way. And this is John Cena's last match ever. And a lot of eyeballs will be. I don't think anybody, I think if you do that, put it on the same day as World's End. First of all, no one's going to order World's End. Everyone's going to want Saturday night's main event. I don't think anyone's going to order World's End, and I don't think they're going to get a good buy rate. Yeah, they should move. Yeah, they should move it. Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's my sister's birthday. All right, Jeffrey. Well, happy birthday. Yeah, at WWE's YouTube channel. Yep. Saturday's lovely wrestling night with Triple Mania. That's awesome. Yep. TNA had a video game in the past. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. So this is a smart move by WWE. I think that they should move Saturday night's main event. If you're going to make it Saturday night's main event and they're going to put on Cena's final match, Cena needs to be on a time. He needs it by himself. He needs it by himself. So if I was WWE, I would look for another date in December. Um, don't do Cena like that. He deserves his own. Yes, I agree. He deserves his own show. And I agree with Jeffrey wholeheartedly. And I think you should not go against World's End. Leave World's End alone. Leave December the 27th alone. That is AEW's final pay per view. That is their final show. That is their only show. And that is their final pay per view of 2025. Leave that date alone and move up Saturday night's main event to a different time and a different place. Even if you got to cancel a planned show that you were going to do on Saturday night early in December, do that. And then put it back in January when you come back in the new year. That's what I would do at WWE. If you have any planned shows in the month of December, early in December, cancel that, scrap it, and put on Saturday night's main event in its place and put Cena there and let Cena have his own show. Let him do his own show. And I think WWE should do that. Don't clash with AEW. Don't do that. I don't think that's right. Yeah, yeah, I think that's what you should do. If you have any plans in early December for a show, scrap it, forget it, cancel it. You can do it in the new year, January, February, whatever you want to do it, scrap it, and then put Cena right in that spot and do it, but leave December the 27th alone and give it to Tony Khan. And that's my opinion. And that's my opinion only. Because now WWE is doing this again. They're going to put on the same show as All Out in Toronto on the 20th of September. They're doing it again. They're clashing with Tony Khan and his calendar. So they're going to do this show in Indianapolis, Indiana. I don't know what the show is. That's the rumor that's going around. WWE is planning to do a show in Indianapolis on the 20th of September, the same time as Tony Khan is doing All Out in Toronto. So don't do that again. Don't do that to WWE, and don't do that to Cena. He deserves more than that. Don't do that to Cena. Really, don't make the fans choose, and that's not right. That is not right, WWE. You don't need to do one-upsmanship with WWE and AEW. You don't need to do that. Stop doing this one-upsmanship. It's not necessary. It's not necessary to do that to the fans. It's not right that you book things like that. It's not right. Clash another time. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. Do it another time. If you have something in the early December, cancel it, scrap it, and move Saturday night's main event into that spot. And that's what you need to do. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. And that's going to do it for the wrestling experience. I want to thank everyone in the chat. I want to thank you all for watching. Like I said, make sure that you hit the like button and you smash it. And of course, you subscribe and you share and you subscribe and like and share and comment. I greatly appreciate it. And this has been fun for me. I want to thank you all for watching. I will be back in 24 hours from now and giving you Friday Night SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown will happen tomorrow night at 7:50 Eastern Time if y'all keep it where it is. I'll give you all the play-by-play action that you want. Brilliant stream, Earl. Brilliant stream, Earl. And shout out to you. Thank you very much, bro. Thank you. And thank you all for watching the Wrestling Experience. I'm Earl Cole. I'll see you tomorrow night. for Friday Night SmackDown. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Have a safe Friday. And I'll see you tomorrow night for Friday Night SmackDown. So long, everyone.